This is Rainbow Six Siege Mobile. We're here on the iPhone 16 Pro. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So, Rainbow Six Siege has made its way to mobile. It makes sense, you know, it's a older game at this point. Definitely does run pretty well and effectively on the mobile phone. You've got the full scope of using the touch controls. I've got the controller plugged in because that's how I usually play Siege. And we'll be showing it off, talking about it, and going over the annoying tutorials in this game that never end. They literally never end. So that's quite exciting. Yeah, so touch control wise, it's pretty good. It's about the usual settings you would have for modern touch controls in a video game. You go in, you move around, shoot things. You got 4 billion buttons on your screen. It works pretty well, especially as you get more used to the game. And this is the full scope of Rainbow Six, but available on the mobile device, which is kind of nice. It is interesting, some of the choices, like the onboarding process in this game is straight up obnoxious. It's sort of like learn how to walk, then learn how to walk on the other side, and then play an onboarding game. And then you gotta play like a dozen of these quick matches, which are, you know, kind of a little patronizing. And yeah, the tutorials never end. You'll run out of battery before you even actually get to play the actual game. And there's no choices or anything. You can skip the learn to walk sequences, but other than that, it's like, yeah, it's kind of annoying. They do amp up the competition a little bit as you go through these quick plays, but it's the same map and everything over and over again. And anyways, I digress. It's interesting looking at the different character selections in this one too. They definitely it's very interesting to see the roster they chose as far as operators. Like, it's very specific set, and you gotta work and unlock and grind and sort of get them if you want. And it's interesting choices for a starter selection here instead of some of the classics. There's some where you're like, oh, that's an interesting choice as far as an operator. But I'm sure they'll build up to it over time. And you know, they've got the battle pass, and they've got the various outfits and such that you can wear and buy and that. So it's your very typical, yeah, sort of microtransaction to the hilt thing, and you know, all these different customization parts on your gun and visual customization parts on your gun with those, which is quite exciting. And then yeah, so you kind of play it. The general core of the game is you're sieging. One side is the team that is sieging the other side, and one team is defending. So you attack and you defend, and then you switch. And it's typically done over several rounds. This is quicker, faster gameplay done over like best of 3, so it doesn't even really feel really like matches of Siege because there's no longevity and intensity to it. But if you're playing on a mobile device, it's quick, right? Which is kind of good, I suppose. Okay, we'll go to the next match here. I sure do love Restaurant. Ugh, what a great all-time map this is. Anyway, so you've got these different operators, and they all kind of do different things, and they all have different abilities that they provide to the team. Some of the stuff got a little different over time as far as the types of operators that they added, but I mean, after you've added dozens upon dozens of, like, Rainbow Six traditionally is supposed to be 8 countries sort of thing. Like, it's supposed to be the best of a particular, you know, units from different countries coming together to deal with problems. And it's sort of just any quirky tie-in they can do these days. There's even, like, Master Chief is in Rainbow Six Siege, which is quite interesting. Anyways, yeah, kind of fun. As you can see in the bottom left corner there, I'm on graphics ultra quality, so we're going to just quickly take a look at that. So you go to settings, and there's voice chat stuff too. Gyro controls, the regular gameplay options, controller settings, sensitivity stuff. Weirdly, there's no default setting in case you're like having issues as far as like kind of resetting to defaults. I accidentally moved some stuff on the controller sensitivities, but I was like, oh, what's the default supposed to be? So we've got Ultra there. You can see these different settings. And then frame rate, it's just kind of capped at 60, which is a little disappointing. It'd be cool if there was a 120 FPS option. It's a bit weird that they don't have that. And your FOV and your bloom and anti-aliasing and everything like that. And you can choose to display blood or not. Which, yeah.
One hostile left.
You either kind of wanting that maturity level or you don't, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it offends you. It's probably more for regional things to get this game available everywhere on mobile, right? That's how they do it. Yeah. That's kind of the visual settings there and some of the gameplay adjustments. Like I said earlier, works fine with the controller, works fine on the mobile touch stuff. Pretty intuitive and easy to understand. And it gives you the full control scheme of the game, and you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. So the game is pretty tense. This is a very tactical shooter where, a few bullets will kill you. And then the variables come from the different abilities that everyone has and brings to the table.
Drones are on the ground.
Defending areas, putting extra barriers over things. There are some frame drops I noticed too. It's weird. It just seems to be like I almost wonder if it's a lag more than frame drop sometimes in this, because it is playing flawlessly for a few matches, and then some matches it'll be like this a little bit, and I'll be like, huh. So I ponder if it's a server thing or something. I don't know. Like a lag factor as opposed to just frame drops. But they feel like frame drops. Oh, yes they do. Anyways, so every moment is kind of could be your last. That's usually what makes Siege so riveting and exhilarating, is the fact that a bullet or two is just the end of you, and you've got to use tactical abilities to kind of get the job done. The game has changed a lot from when I played it too. Back in the day, like I was playing it, as I said, at launch, and I come in every now and then in order to and take a look at it, see what's new, new character, something that intrigues me, new update. I go, okay, let's go take a look at it. I think it became like Rainbow Six X or something recently. I was like, oh, cool. So,
the enemy's marked you.
Yeah, it's kind of the appeal of it is the fast, intense, tactical combat, which is either intriguing for you or something that you find stressful, because it's very tactical, it's very back and forth, very specific in what you're doing. Every moment matters in Siege, and that's what makes it so exciting. It's just the right play at the right time, kind of can doom ya and gloom ya, or it can give you the advantage you need in order to win said match, and I think that in itself is quite exciting and exhilarating, because you're just never sure if things are going to work out well or if it's going to end in complete misery for you, and I think that in itself is really, really quite exciting. And to see it change over the years too, it's become honestly like a little bit silly. Like I miss the old days where you could literally like shoot individual like holes and stuff, and I know it's mobile so the destruction is always going to be toned down, but yeah, they definitely took a lot of the realism away from the game, which I personally found to be quite disappointing, because it was really quite interesting back in the day. Like for every little tactic was a big thing, but it's more popular now than it's ever been, so obviously that worked for people, or that's what people wanted. It's just kind of funny for me where I sort of sit there and I'm like, I miss how it used to be. The core game is still the same, and what you do in it, it's evolved so much with all these different operators and all these different little things, and the way they've changed how you destroy stuff, and yeah, it's genuinely quite an interesting setup, and it can be really cruel or really in your favor. But the general fun of it, really, for the round-based thing, and why these quick matches are a little disappointing, aside from being on the same map over and over again, is that over a longer period of time, you get to see and switch sides and basically see the strategies sort of evolve. And you get that when you get to the sort of ranked tiers in this one, where you get to go over a course of a match and learn how people kind of play and what they do, and then change up your tactics based on seeing things. When you're playing quick matches like this, it's essentially, first to kill someone, and that's that's kind of it. There's like you put up a couple traps and then you just fight, and there's no evolving strategy in quick matches that are, you know, a few minutes long. There's absolutely no strategy in it in the slightest. And that's just, it's such a weird way to present the game like this, because that's not really what Siege is. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty good looking visually. You know, it does look pretty decent.
Track down those bombs.
It's the full scope of it. Whoa! And usually it runs pretty well. I think this is maybe more server lag going on here, but yeah, it's not a bad way to play it. I probably won't play much of this because I don't really do mobile gaming, and it was more just kind of like, ooh, let's see what they've got going on with the game, right? Sort of, let's see what they've done with it to make it work on mobile. That I find quite interesting and fascinating. And then the results here are sort of like, they're good enough. They're definitely good enough. They get the full scope of it down, and it's just as intense and tactical as you would expect it to be. Yeah, the onboarding process was just way too long in this game. It just totally took me out of it. I find that so insulting. I know developers really feel that people need that, and I know some people really struggle with, you know, learning things, basics, but like,
You did a good job.
yeah, it drives me absolutely just crazy just sitting here waiting and burning battery. Like, my phone's on fire from playing this. So this is a limited time mode, so at least it shows us a different map. So we're not just doing the same sort of thing over and over again, which is kind of nice. You get to see a different level layout and whatnot. I also don't really feel like this is quite representative of Siege, because it's a limited time event thing, and again, that doesn't really hit me as like a Siege type of mode. But people do like this sort of thing, and you know, they always gotta come up with fresh ways to do things. Like, it's just kind of like a team deathmatch thing. Well, it's sort of almost like what they call that, regicide or whatever from Halo, where you become like the most wanted person, and everybody tries to like kill you because you're highlighted, and yeah, that's kind of what they got going on here. But it shows you quick, frantic action, and that's what people love. That's what they crave. So I guess from a perspective of playing the full scope of the game, just in a tighter format on mobile, it hits the mark. It's not really necessarily something that I'd spend a lot of time doing because, you know, I'm just not really much of a mobile gamer, quite honestly, but I wanted to come in and give context and talk about it and stuff, and, you know, I was just trying to look for neat mobile games to kind of showcase, and being, you know, a bit of a, I don't know if Siege fan is the word, but, you know, someone that's covered a bit around Siege since the beginning of it. It's like, this is really, really quite fascinating and really, really quite cool to present and talk about and go over. That was my goal today, was just to be like, here's Siege in action on mobile, wow. And that really is kind of, I don't know, it's probably less impressive these days compared to when we started getting ports like this, but to me, I really do find this kind of thing fascinating, something that would be on the console or on PC is just readily available on mobile, and it's not really necessarily toned down, because that was always the thing to get mobile games kind of working, was you'd have to tone down the experience in ways to make it happen, and yeah, now you just get like the full kind of thing going on here. Well, why did you run away? Come back. And I think there's a decent roster that they can build from this, and they're really kind of looking at all the different kind of operators, and was mostly thinking it's a decent selection, but there's just quite a few where I'm like, where's this character at?
30 seconds remain.
But you also get really used to what the full, you know, console version of it has, and you're just kind of like, Oh yeah, yeah, you just like assume that that's all that's going to be available. It's also really weird that the onboarding thing just kind of is, hey, play the same map over and over again. I guess that's to reinforce the idea of getting really good at playing one map. I'm the most wanted. I did everything I could to try to get this team going.
Still did well.
I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on that one. See, quick, frantic action. Defeat, yeah, no, definitely defeated.
It's an action.
Alright, there we go, another new map. How exhilarating is that? That's just edge of your seat action is what it is. Especially on a classic map such as Bank. But it's so, again, it's so weird playing this with Team Deathmatch because that's not what Siege, that's not the spirit of Siege. It seems like that with every video game. People just want to just be able to go and shoot at each other, but that's really not what these games are supposed to be about. But hey, I don't even have the patience really to sit there through their ridiculous onboarding, so I suppose I'm just as bad in some ways.
Targets detected.
That auto vaulting kind of intense there, eh? When this game came out, I never would have anticipated it being available on mobile. Like, the thought didn't even really cross my mind that they would, you know, perhaps do that someday. So it's really genuinely fascinating to be doing this and having it be a comparable experience to the home console. It'll probably be more popular too. Like, I think this could really potentially help it reach a new audience in its own sort of way, because obviously Call of Duty Mobile is a big sort of thing. And oh, I thought that was this elevator. Okay. Maybe it's sort of more like Juggernaut from Halo, where you try to be the one person, but you don't get the Juggernaut, like, power-up, I suppose. It is a little bit more like Regicide, I think. Anyways, yeah. Probably just talking nonsense for people that don't know about that. It's also interesting that they cut off so much of the map, too, but I guess you gotta have that for Team Deathmatch to keep the action sort of going and flowing there. At the end of the day, they did put together a pretty comparable Siege experience, at least from my opinion and experience of playing Siege. This is actually like a pretty decent way to play the game, I have to say. They've definitely, I think, kind of nailed controls and some of the combat. And it's just the onboarding I wish wasn't such a hideous pain. But then again, I haven't onboarded for regular Siege in years, so maybe it's just as bad at this point. It's almost like they don't even want you playing against other people. Well, it is true. There's all these statistics for people when they like kind of lose off the bat. If they're not good, they sort of just like leave and dump games. You know, when I was younger, you sort of like stuck with games and you were interested in them, or you sort of, even if not, just to see if you could get better at them. And yeah, that's kind of changed a lot over the years. And the match is almost going to be over. It's just like these quick, frantic kind of things, which I guess makes sense for mobile, I suppose. Quicker, the more intense, the more you kind of keep people interested and engaged. Alright, back to it. It's quite a nightmare editing cut up videos like this, especially when you're trying to pile your thoughts and do a review of things. It's just the quick bits are so kind of ridiculous almost, as to say. Time-wise in that. But it's certainly been an interesting experience. I think this will be something that if it looks appealing to you, it'll be kind of fun. When you get to the proper game mode, it's definitely a lot more interesting. At least I believe so. Battery-wise, it's going to be pretty intensive. But it does look pretty good. And it does provide the intense, quick-paced, exciting action that Siege is known for.